Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for writing in with your most important question. I see that you've been married for more than 2 years. Alhamdulillah. You brought up the fact that you both were studying, so you haven't been able to spend much time together. Spending time together in the beginning of your marriage is very important. It's a very special time for bonding and getting to know one another. I'm glad that now for the last 6 months you've been able to get to know your husband and that you're enjoying your time together. As you've indicated, you've noted that he's a little bit of an introvert and not very friendly with any of his family or your family members. I just want to comment on that and just ask you to possibly look at his, behavior, maybe with, friends or other people that you may socialize with, and see if possibly if he's shy. It might be in his nature just to be shy. But of course, with his family members, there's no reason to be shy. So possibly he is introverted, or else he perhaps doesn't feel comfortable speaking in front of his family. That might be something important that you might want to check out and talk to him about. You didn't mention whether or not you and him have ever discussed his shyness or introvertedness. So I would kindly suggest that possibly sit down with him maybe after dinner, or go out for lunch or something and just talk to him about how, he feels in front of his family and your family and friends and things of that nature. And, ask him if he's comfortable speaking or if he just prefers listening, and just inquire why. This is a time to get to know each other, and, questions are most appropriate. Some people are just naturally introverted and, prefer to just, be in the background and just listen, while others are more outgoing and extroverted and do enjoy engaging in conversations. As long as he's speaking with you at home and you both have good communication with each other, that's very important, and that's vital for a sustainable marriage. However, if other people are commenting on him not speaking at family gatherings and things like that, again, perhaps you might want to, sit down with him and discuss, with him if he's uncomfortable or if, that's how he's always been, and perhaps, try to get to the bottom of it. I would kindly suggest, inshallah, doing it in a way that's not like accusatory or insulting, for lack of a better term. Because sometimes when you ask people, well, why don't you speak when we're, at so-and-so's house, or why don't you speak to my parents, they might get insulted and take, offense to that. So in your approach with speaking with your husband, inshallah, just make sure that it's done in a kind manner and in a loving manner. You also discussed about him not practicing Islam, and I was a little bit confused about that. You said he's a non-practicing Muslim. However, you did say that he fasts during Ramadan and he goes to Jummah prayer. So what I'm assuming here is that he doesn't keep his regular prayers. As far as that goes, I would kindly suggest that just encourage him to keep his prayers. We all fall short, and inshallah, with encouragement, he will begin to keep his regular prayers. Allah is most merciful, and Allah understands, and He wants us to strive to be better Muslims. I'm not sure I would say he's non-practicing, especially as he does fast during Ramadan and he does go for Jummah prayer. And as you stated, he loves Allah and he believes in Allah and the Prophet, peace be upon him. However, he just might need a little extra encouragement with keeping his salats, which are very important. So as a wife, perhaps you can, really encourage him on that. And, it's a beautiful thing when a husband and wife do pray together. So you might want to make that one of your goals, inshallah, to encourage your husband to keep his salats. Also, you mentioned that you wanted to have a baby. You indicated that he's not ready, and you also indicated that you'll be going to your native home for some months for further studying. I just want you to think about that for a little bit and possibly ask yourself some questions. If you're going to be going away for studies and you might not be with your husband, you might be by yourself or with your family. You might want to put off having a baby at this point. Allah knows best. But however, it might be a more enjoyable and fulfilling and bonding experience if you got pregnant and you were with your husband. Additionally, as you said, he's not ready. Perhaps you might want to discuss this with him and possibly plan a time when you both are more prepared. I would kindly suggest, thinking about school again, because you did say you were going for studies, and perhaps contemplate having a child after your studies are finished and when he's more ready. You did indicate why he's not ready, but I can imagine possibly financial reasons, or you guys have not spent enough time getting to know each other. Might be another reason. Of course, I'm just guessing because you didn't indicate. But I would kindly suggest that both of you try to spend more quality time together, getting to know one another, talking about your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, and how many children do you both want, and try to bond more with your families, inshallah, if possible, and make him feel more comfortable if you can with his communication with his family and your family. And that way, things, inshallah, will go a lot smoother and be much more happier for both of you when you have, the support of both of your families. You also indicated that the intimacy between you and your husband has declined, that it's been more than 2 months without anything happening between you that's intimate. And I'm just kind of wondering how your intimacy was prior to these 2 months, and if you had a satisfactory sex life together. And if you did, what do you feel is the cause of the decline? You didn't say specifically, just kind of generally that he's tired, and that the intimacy has declined. Perhaps you might want to speak with him also about this. And again, approach is everything. Intimacy is a very important part of marriage. It's very important for bonding, getting to know one another, building up, love and trust, and a mercy and a comfort between a husband and a wife. Perhaps he is just, too tired, and perhaps he's worried about financial issues or whatever. I'm not really sure. But again, communication is important in a marriage, and I would take your concerns to him and, just discuss with him how much it means to you, and that you do love him, and that you wish that you both, could be closer. And perhaps he's thinking the same thing, but he's just not indicating it to you verbally. As you stated earlier, he was a little bit of an introvert, so possibly he has a hard time expressing his feelings. You also indicated that you're ready to adjust if he's not able to fulfill your needs, but you were worried about that your chances of getting pregnant will become less as well. If you're ready to adjust to him not being able to fulfill your needs, sister, then you're kind of like settling. And again, going back to communication, possibly just sitting down with him and talking with him and expressing your love for him, and that you need him, and that you would like to be close to him in that way, will make him feel good. It will make him feel more confident, and will also bring him closer to you and you to him. And then that way, inshallah, your life, as far as husband and wife and intimacy goes, could get better, inshallah. You spoke of Allah's wrath, and I'm not really quite sure what you meant by that. And you stated that in regards to getting pregnant. You said that you're always praying to Allah to give you guidance and patience and to help you out with this, which is really good, alhamdulillah, because Allah is most merciful and Allah knows our hearts and He knows our desires, and Allah's timing is perfect. So with that said, when and if you get pregnant, inshallah, only Allah knows. And if you just use a little sabr, patience, and a little bit of communication, I'm sure you will get pregnant when the time is right. And again, Allah's timing is most perfect.